Welcome to Speaking of Strong Style. I'm Jeremy Finestone, and with me this week is not Stephen Conway. In fact, we've got Ring of Honor historian, Fight Game Media contributor, and Wrestling Observer contributor Paul Fontaine here today to join me to talk all the news and notes in New Japan Pro Wrestling this past week, including, my goodness, New Year Dash. We got Battle in the Valley preview. We got all the new beginning matches that have been announced. New Japan came at us pretty fast and loose this past week, Paul. How were you able to take in all the matches and all the information, especially coming off Wrestle Kingdom? I got so many questions for you.
Well, I mean, the matches themselves wasn't too bad. I mean, Wrestle Kingdom actually was pretty easy to get through this year. The matches, none of them overstayed their welcome. If anything, they probably, could have used a little bit more time on a few of them. And New Year's Dash was a real easy watch. You're talking to a guy that watches, all the North American wrestling. So compared to that, it was really easy to get through. And, and there hasn't been anything since, unless I missed something. So a lot of news. I got no idea what's going on with Tonga. I'm hoping you're gonna.
I got all your answers for you, buddy.
Okay, good. Because
I've got that one all ready to go. We got you here. Stephen Conway is celebrating his birthday and decided selfishly to go take a cruise. The absolute gall. So Paul was able to fill in when we realized that we needed this. We needed somebody for me to talk to because nobody just wants to hear me talk about New Japan all by myself. I don't even want to hear me talk about New Japan all by myself. So we are going to talk about it. Paul has the unique distinction of following almost all the promotions and has a spreadsheet that has covered every match in 2023. And I know he's seen all the New Japan matches. So his insight will be valuable. A lot of the New Japan matches.
Yeah, like all the big shows. All the big shows.
Yes.
I didn't see all the house shows, but I saw a lot of them.
But like the tag leads, you made a point of the G1, the matches that were like, I watch all the shows because I have to watch all the shows.
Yeah.
You should be watching the big shows and watching the things that catch your eye and tell you like, hey, New Japan's got this going on. Oh, I'm going to check that out.
I'll often ask you. I'll say, what's the next one that I need to watch? There are
a few people out there that can just log in and be like, hey, this is the matches, and sometimes you just got to be the guy to spread the gospel about that stuff. So that's kind of what I try to do with that. But we are into 2024, and you have caught up with New Year Dash.
Yep.
And so let's break that down.
Sure.
And we started out, with this one. Let's start at the bottom of this one. This was a wacky card. What did you think of the New Year Dash card?
I mean, some of the booking was weird. I guess would be the best way to put it. And the fact that it's like a mystery vortex kind of show where you don't really know what's happening. And I mean, you can cheat, and especially if you watch after the fact, they put the matches on the description now. So, it's not really a surprise, but I try to not look. So I'm surprised. And I was really shocked at the main event. That 8-man tag, specifically that 4-man team is probably the best 4-man team you're ever going to see in terms of talent. So I was blown away by that. And the match itself was
once in a lifetime team up. That's what these New Year Dash shows are.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, this one in particular, and I've watched, probably most of them over the last 10 years. Not all.
Remember the main event of last year with Kenny Omega and Okada doing a tag team with each other?
Oh, I mean, I didn't remember till you told me just now.
But they have 1 or 2 matches on each one of these. It's like, hey, we got something special for you here. And that's really the one thing about them. But what was really interesting about the show was the amount of angles and matches that they managed to blow out at us over the course of 5 shows in Japan, I think, starting on the 20th and going all the way to February 23rd. So we got January 20th, and we got January 23rd and 24th. Then we got February 11th, and then we got February 23rd and 24th. So those are the New Beginning in Osaka, Sapporo, and a couple of the others. Korakuen. There's so much going on. And the first thing that happened was Taguchi and Hiroshi Tanahashi had a sudden TV title match. And this wasn't anything special, right? It was a 5-minute match. Taguchi challenged. Everyone was like, oh, okay. And we got a little bit of Taguchi that wasn't showing his ass, basically being the goof off. There was a legitimate effort. And I don't know if that is because there is a new emphasis on it with Tanahashi as the TV title, and they're going to shy away from that a little bit, or if this was just like, hey, we're just going to give you a good old-fashioned Taguchi match. What did you get? What was your read on that?
I was almost wondering if it's, like Taguchi on his best behavior in front of his new boss. Like, I'm not going to fool around. We're going to have an actual match. I mean, when Taguchi actually wrestles, he is, dirty little secret. He's pretty good.
He was a tag partner with Devitt, Finn Balor, years ago. And people forget about that.
Well, no, I mean, he's still he can still bust out the moves. I mean, him and Rocky together are usually pretty entertaining. And entertaining in not a typical Taguchi way, but like good matches entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Yano, like both of them are, like they're goofballs 90% of the time, but the 10% of the time they're not. It's like, oh man, these guys can wrestle. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. And I mean, it's amazing that this title was created for the young guys, and here we got Tanahashi and Taguchi wrestling for it. But we're gonna forget
the
about
newest
that.
entry on the YouTube New Japan channel is two of the oldest guys on the roster for a title.
But you know what? They still look good. They still wrestled good, and I'd know. It's a fine little match. I mean, nothing special. There was one match on this show that when you get to it, I was really impressed with. But but the rest of it was, like you said, it was table setting for the next month and a half. And the New Beginning shows, honestly, are sneakily like my favorite shows of the year. Sometimes, like when I first kind of fell in love with New Japan was a random New Beginning show. I don't remember the year, but I remember the match, and it was the Ishii and Tomoaki Honma, and it was on a New Beginning show, and it was like, oh my god, these are happening on like random shows, and it's not random, but it doesn't have to be Wrestle Kingdom or G1. Like you can see great matches all the time.
It's hard to figure out which are the big deal shows because the way that they advertise them, like that they're coming and that there are a couple of matches, but it's not until you actually sit down and watch the show and realize, oh, this is a huge crowd that they're in front, and this is like they pulled out the bells and whistles for this show. This is a big one. There are times where I'm just like, oh, I did not realize that we were here, and it even happens to me. The schedule is hard to follow sometimes.
Well, and this upcoming one is good because especially the way I think you got this from Chris Sampson, right? And like the way they broke down all the matches, like it basically tells you like which matches are, or which shows are the ones you need to see. Like some of these have like they're 4 or 5 matches deep, for great things that you need to see. So, and those would be like, I think February 4th and 11th and the 24th are the big ones, but there's something on every one of these shows for everybody. And they were all set up on this card. Like you said, they smashed a lot of stuff in here. And good on them, and they had a great crowd too.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Colin Matthey. I want to say hi to Dunstan Williams, Venkin Bjorn. Hello, guys. Thank you for coming in. And this also gives us an opportunity to pump the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. If you like what we do here, Paul Fontaine last night was recapping the Dynamite show with Jeff Hawkins on the show. They were comparing the notes of Adam Cole's promo the last 2 weeks, among other things. So they were having a great time with that. You can join them here. We got the Power Bombshells, on Sunday morning doing their thing.
Happy birthday, Mel.
Afternoon. Happy birthday, Mel Gray, by the way. A perfect birthday gift if you go check them out this weekend and tell her happy birthday there. If you get a chance, please do the like, subscribe, click, share. Tell everyone about Fight Game Media. We love what we do. We love talking about wrestling, and we can talk about anything. So, that's the little spiel. So, now that we got that out of the way, you ready for the surprise of Matt Riddle in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard about it before I saw it, but I didn't I didn't exactly know how it was going to happen, and I liked the video. They do these videos very well, I find, and it's like if when it starts, so you saw the bare feet, and you saw him doing, the MMA kind of moves. And so if you knew it was Matt Riddle, you obviously knew it was Matt Riddle, but I don't know until they actually showed his face. Slight tweak on the character, a little bit. The presentation was a little more professional than it was in WWE. I didn't really see a lot of his indie work, so I don't know how it compares to that, but he's going right after Tanahashi, and that's pretty cool. And they're actually going to be sharing a ring this weekend already. So there's the look of Matt Riddle there, and that's not WWE Matt Riddle.
So. No, it is not, and I get the distinct impression that we are going to be seeing a different version of Matt Riddle in New Japan. I don't get the feeling that he's going to be there for a short period of time, and I don't get the feeling that he's going to be not in the spotlight for a consistent amount of it. So the idea that he might be the head of a faction or even like the number 2 is something that is a very, very real thought to me. And with Will Ospreay on the way out, I'm starting to wonder if that's a direction. And so this kind of leads into a question Venkin has. Jeremy, do you know his partner by chance? No, I do not. But if I had to guess, and I don't know if Paul Fontaine agrees with me on this, that it would probably be Jeff Cobb, which ties
that was my
into
first thought.
Yeah. They were a tag team at PWG. There's a familiarity there. It lines up really well with a matchup of Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito, a shooter and a strong guy. Matches the same fight profile of Riddle and Cobb. I don't know that for sure. Nobody's told me anything. It's not anything, but that's the quickest determination that I would make.
So Jeremy, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If it is Matt Riddle, and let's just assume it is, do we see Matt Riddle dispose of Will Ospreay as a head of the United Empire, similar to how they've done it in the past with leaders of the Bullet Club?
I don't think so. I think it'll be a more of a peaceful transfer of power, maybe.
Like him handing over the keys?
Hey, I leave this in your hands. Yeah. These guys are my guys. Like, I see what you can do.
The reason I was questioning that is because then that potentially sets up a Matt Riddle and Will Ospreay match for Forbidden Door, or in AEW, at some point.
It could. I don't know how much of AEW is going to want Matt Riddle at Forbidden Door, if that's a thing. So I wouldn't put any seeds in there until the room is read on regarding how Matt Riddle is received. That's personally my kind of just, I don't know how this is going to go. If we're all being trying to dance around this, because I think we all know that there are people that do not want to see Matt Riddle in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But if New Japan Pro Wrestling wants Matt Riddle, and they have wanted Matt Riddle for a very long time, that is going to be something that you are going to have to determine how you feel with your relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'm going to leave it at that.
It is interesting. The 5-on-5 cage match with the United Empire and the Bullet Club is the show directly before Matt Riddle gets his title shot. So
I think it's the same show.
I'm looking at the schedule, and it's February 11th. February 11th is United Empire and Bullet Club, and then February 23rd is
okay.
So we could get something coming out of that cage match to lead into the title match.
Absolutely. I think it'll be curious to see if Matt Riddle is involved in like the New Japan Cup, anything like that. That'll really clear up exactly what kind of commitment that he has with the company. And the New Japan Cup is typically where they lay out like new things and what the new directions. So they don't do too much in one show. They might, but until Riddle has that match with Tanahashi, I think they're going to focus on that, and then they'll move on to the next direction of what's going on.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out more on Saturday if Jeff Cobb is the partner. That's definitely a clue.
Yes. All right, let's blow through the rest of this New Japan New Year dash card. We had Oiwa and Kiyomiya versus YOSHI-HASHI and Hirooki Goto. Goto and Hashi coming off their losses. Kiyomiya also on a losing team. This was basically a spotlight match. Bishamon got their thing. Let me get the notes I wrote. I wrote some notes for this, and I forgot about that. I was doing this by memory real quick.
I have no notes. I wish I did, but
all right. Spotlight match. Everyone looked good. Can't say it wasn't a night off for everyone, but the crowd looked happy. The joke that everyone could be in bed by 7 on the show felt very, very real.
Yeah. No, it was fine. Nice rebound for Bishamon.
Absolutely. The next one was the Young Lions send-off match. Yuto Nakashima and Oskar Leube versus Hikuleo and ELP.
This was the one. This was the one I wanted to highlight.
Yeah.
I like this match better than the ELP Bishamon match at Wrestle Kingdom. Like, I thought this match was great.
The charisma of ELP and Phantasmo together is fantastic. There was a silly little spot right in the beginning where they got up on the ropes together to do their entrance, and ELP fell off. And I think it was done on purpose. Like, It was just one of those pratfall kind of things, and they played it off. They knew it was, a match to give the guys a little bit of shine before they go. And so let's get these notes that I had up here.
Some of the near falls were incredible, and I just love the fire. Leube looked like a future champion. Nakashima as well. Like, both these guys, the future is really bright for both these guys, and I'm really interested to see where they go and how they look when they come back. And this was a great send off for both of them.
I noticed that the crowd really, really loved ELP, and they have continued to love him since the World Tag League. And like you were saying, the match heated up when Hikuleo and Leube went at it. For an exhibition match, it was great. Yuto Nakashima got multiple pin attempts. Hikuleo looked great. Godsend on Yuto, Thunder Kiss on both. Excursion time, they gave them the ovation when they left. Afterwards, Chase and Kenta came out and challenged. Chase pile drived ELP. That was basically to give ELP some time off, because when he was on our show and doing the interview, he made it clear he was hurting. So he did a couple of matches here, and then he's going to heal up a little bit. And so ovation for the Lions. Off they go.
Yep.
Then we had the 12-man tag match. This was... Did it set up 3 or 4 matches out of this, right? We got Evil and Tama Tonga. We got Honta Judy. Shota and Ren are back. Tama and Evil and Desperado and Kanemaru all got set up through this match. And Tama Tonga got his haircut.
Yeah. This was this wasn't even really a match. I mean, it was basically just get these guys in the ring all together and do our angles. Like, the match itself was the action is fine, especially when Umino's in there. I will say one thing I've noticed about Ren Narita ever since he joined the House of Torture, like every successive match I see him in, he's starting to feel more and more like just one of the guys. You know what I mean? I was hoping he was gonna stand out and be the one guy that just wrestles like great and everything, and he just in that t-shirt, and their whole thing is just being lazy and like cheating and like I know it's the gimmick, but
sure.
I just expect so. I just had so much.
He's on a simmer. It's kind of what I'm on, and it's just like they're gonna get to Ren and Shota, but they don't want to give you too much Ren until you get to that match. So he's being the slimy little toad, and he's got the mouthpiece with the black marks, and he looks gross, and he's looking grosser and grosser every match. And it's just like you don't have to do this, but at the same time, like he's committing fully to his first gimmick, and it's just like okay.
Yeah, so and I mean that's and they're over, in their own way. So I mean, I don't like it, but it's not for me.
Like, as much as we're like, oh my god, this is the worst. Like, I've come to respect that when it comes to New Japan proper, like they're all about House of Torture, and Evil plays his role perfectly. So we got Master Wato, Desperado, Honma, Makabe, Shota Umino, and Tama Tonga on one side, and we had Dick Togo, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, Ren Narita, and Evil. This went 9 minutes, and it felt like an eternity.
I mean, kind of, because they did the whole gimmick with the fake, ring bell, and You know, and you don't even like half the time I don't even know when the match is over. I'm glad it was English commentary because sometimes when I'm watching with Japanese commentary, like I don't even realize the match is still going because they ring the bell and I was like, oh, the match is over, okay, but it's not really over. So, and I don't understand Japanese, so. But
Dunstan says he does not trust Geto with the rest development if he's just Evil 2.0.
Well,
I don't think he's Evil 2.0. I think we're in first gear with a heel turn, and it's like you just need to wait and see where they're going with it.
I'm worried he's going to be freaking Yujiro 2.0, like the way he's like looking every week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I don't think he will be either, but that to me, that's who he reminds me of Yujiro.
This is the best talent class in years.
Yeah.
Absolutely top to bottom with Shota, with Yuya, with Yoda, and with Ren. One of them had to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And even as the baby faces, you got the Rogue, you got the Rebel, and you have the pure baby face. None of them are at the top of their game yet. None of them have actually succeeded at the level. So if you have Ren just running the table as a bad guy, it kind of creates a talent disparity among what level of their growth that they're trying to get at. They're all on a plan. You know, like they all have a plan for how they're going to get to the next level.
It felt for a little while like Shooter was going to be the heel, but I think they figured out that he's much, much better as a babyface.
Yeah. It was really ambiguous. I think the next one that could be heel is Yoda Tsuji.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's turning on Naito. Like so.
There's something in the water right there.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, we have the next match with 5 minutes before a no contest, which led to the announcement of Will Ospreay's final match in New Japan. This was Francisco Akira, TJP, Hinare, Jeff Cobb, and Will Ospreay versus Drilla Maloney, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, Alex Coughlin, and David Finlay. This is off the Catch 2-2 versus Maloney and Connors tag match at Wrestle Kingdom, as well as the three-way between Will Ospreay, David Finlay, and Jon Moxley. So the grudge match continues, and boy, they really tried to make it like it was the biggest deal in the world. And they do this every February with somebody. Is that this one's going to be the big one, and this year it's Will Ospreay.
Yeah, and I mean, it was again not really a match, just an angle to set up the bigger match. I thought it was great. They never do cage matches in Japan, so if you're going to do one, this was the way to set it up. Mm-hmm. And the War Dogs are so believable in their roles. Like you just hate them. Like and they feel like they hate everyone. Like mm-hmm. you know, including their teammates in Bullet Club. If they are teammates, that's not really clear, but it's you know, and
dogs forever, man.
Yeah, Will was great in his thing. The one thing that I have a slight issue with is the idea of his last match. Like, I mean, we all know he's going to be back for the big shows, mm-hmm. but I guess in his mind, you know, he's going to be AEW going forward. So, yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it.
We got some comics from the gallery. Evil 2.0 is Finlay. Maybe he'd be 3.0. Dubsted's all about the war. Venkin is all about the brawl. There was a nice moment here where Geto took his annual shot through a table. And that was part of the way that this whole brawl got set up. So Geto can disappear for a little while. And then we got the steel cage match and Gabe Kidd winning a lot. There was a part of this where Francisco Akira freaked out, and he doesn't want to participate in this match in the backstage comments. And so I'm not sure if this is to just get him some time off, or if he's going to come up with some type of transformative counterpart to TJP's Encore, which is that Portuguese myth that he came out at Wrestle Kingdom and did with the Bray Wyatt mask and everything. So there were some backstage comments about this that also set up a number of the matches this weekend, including TJP and Finlay was set up in the backstage comments. And Will Ospreay and Gabe Kidd, I think. Yes. So, as this is going on, he is going to disappear. I don't know if he's coming back as the same guy with a little dose of Courage the Cowardly Dog in him, whatever. I'm not entirely sure, but that is the drama of that one, and we'll touch on that match a little bit more. But we got to get through the rest of this show.
Does that beast that TJP appeared as at Wrestle Kingdom have an Italian cousin? Maybe
that's what I'm wondering. If he's going, if there's going to be some kind of monster counterpart, and they're both gonna have their Undertaker mythical level up for the big shows, because
could be cool.
I'm not sure how much you can do the Answer mask on the house shows with the bright lights and all that stuff. It doesn't quite carry the same.
No. But for a cage match, it might work.
Sure. I fully expect the Answer at the cage match and blood to be spilled in addition to the Answer. I can't believe I'm talking about the Answer as a real thing, Paul. This is not what I signed up for, but here we are.
I thought it was the Fiend, and then
that's what I was saying. Like I looked at him like, you really love Bray Wyatt, and like God bless you, man. It was the Claw when he came out of the coffin with the Claw. I'm like, oh no, like this isn't no. And then it turned it around. Colin Matthew disagrees, and that's totally fine. TJP's alter ego was awesome.
I didn't say it wasn't awesome. I was just surprised.
Just not for me. Just not for me.
You know what it also reminded me of was Finn Balor and his demon gimmick.
Very much so. Very much so.
And they look a lot alike when they're in their masks. Like they have similar build and similar moves and everything. So
all right, so we have the next match with a confirmation that the LIJ versus Just Five Guys feud is going to continue for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
It shall never die, Paul. It shall never die. Would you
every show, there's an incarnation of this. Like
we went
6
from
8, 10,
House of Torture and Just Five Guys feud through October.
Yeah.
Now we are in month 3 of 4 of Just Five Guys feuding with each other prior to New Japan Cup. So I don't think any real things are going to change between the two factions. Maybe a title, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it. I feel like it's more just a time pass. And there wasn't anything really interesting about this one, I thought. Let's see what notes I had. I really wrote Taco won with a Michinoku driver on Bushi. There wasn't much to this match.
I guess, like, I assume the next match for Naito after, like, because they're doing a rematch, right? For the first time.
They're doing a rematch, and then Naito will presumably
I think it's going to be
Uemura. It could be. What typically happens is they'll do the New Beginnings match. Then he might have a challenge from the junior heavyweight challenger at the anniversary show. And that's the beginning of March, right before the New Japan Cup. Once the New Japan Cup happens, it's whoever wins the New Japan Cup is going to challenge him at Sakura Genesis. I think it's Sakura Genesis, whatever.
So it could be Despy against Naito.
There's very much a possibility of a Desperado versus Naito match to happen in March.
So then Uemura could potentially be the favorite to win the New Japan Cup because he got the win. He got the win over Tsuji. And then I would think that these tag matches that they're doing are probably he's going to shine in these tag matches. We're going to see a lot of Uemura and Tsuji against each other.
We're going to get a blueprint for the entire rest of the year when that New Japan Cup is announced, including who is set up against who, and we're going to be able to read some tea leaves and try and figure out exactly why they set up some matches here or there, like they did with Sonata against Taichi right out the gate last year. So that was interesting. All right, moving on to the next one. We had the King of Pro Wrestling 4-way. It was Toriano, Great-O-Khan, Yo, and Taiji Ishimori. And this was a 10-minute scramble. This was not much.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even understand the rules at first, but
it was whoever has the last pin at the end of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So the way it worked was there was a clock in a corner, and then Yo got the first pin after 3 minutes and 30 seconds. For the next 5 minutes, Khan spent trying to pin Toriano and failed. He failed over and over and over again for 5 minutes. He then got a pin on Yo, and he was so infuriated that he made sure that he get a pin on him again, which made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, that was
since he already had the pin.
Yeah.
Right afterwards, Ishimori rolled up Khan, and then with a minute left, he just ran around the ring and he won.
Yeah, it was kind of like the ending
it.
was like the NXT Iron Survivor challenge that they do, you know, where they're just trying to wait it out at the end. And,
like,
yeah. But
I mean,
out of the 4, maybe the best guy to have this belt because he can probably work a ton of different styles of matches.
Did you even realize that they protected Toru Yano in this match?
No, but
like
that's great.
He was the original king of pro wrestling, and they have such like honor for him as that winner that he never got pinned in this match.
And he's always in this match. He is always in this match. I mean, it was a couple of years ago where he didn't even have to get in the ring.
Perennially protected
at the Wrestle Kingdom, where he was in the Final 4 before he even got to the ring. That was awesome.
Just like you're just like, how is Toru Yano the most protected and Great Khan looking like the just wow?
I just saw a 5-star match with Toru Yano not that long ago, so I got all the love for him.
Which one is that?
No, I mean it was all Ishii, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, got it. That tag match.
Yeah. But he was in it.
Match in the World Tag League.
Yeah.
Can we just merge the Never title and the King of Pro Wrestling already? Please, President Tana. Colin Matthews, second this. There's too many titles in New Japan. I can agree with that. With that said, it's not exactly my top priority as long as, you know, the shows are filled and I'm entertained. And frankly speaking, the King of Pro Wrestling had one of the best 40-minute matches between Shingo and Taichi last year, and no one saw it coming, and it was fantastic. And I don't want to be deprived of random matches that are going to please me.
When you talked about me seeing all the matches for whatever reason, and I watched a lot of New Japan last year, I don't think I saw like 3 King of Pro Wrestling matches. They just always seem to have those title matches on the shows I didn't watch. Like
they are on off shows. Like they are the headliners on the off shows. And now that they do those chapter stuff, it's easier to go in there. But it's also a little bit tougher because you don't think I got to go watch this one match.
Or that one show particularly. Because with me, I try to watch the whole show. But if for whatever reason, if I'm running behind, I'll make sure I catch all the title matches. Right. So yeah, with the chapters now, it's so much easier. But I'm still going to try to keep up and watch everything. And I mean, this upcoming schedule doesn't look too bad. As we get into the tournaments and everything, it gets a little harder, but I am really looking forward to a couple of these shows. So
we're going to run them down real quick. We just had matches. We're not going to do a lot of insight because there's a whole lot that has to happen before we get there. But I'm going to give you the layout of everything in those matches and what's going to happen. But before we get to that, we got to the crown jewel of this show, which was an 8-man tag match. And the way that they laid out this match is that they did not tell you who was in it. But Tomohiro Ishii comes out first. And then Jon Moxley comes out. And the crowd oohs and ahs. Like, ooh, this is a cool little team. And then you hear the coin drops. And Kazuchika Okada comes out. And the crowd's simmering. And they're hot. They're like, oh, this is a good team that we got here. And then Bryan Danielson's music hits. And the crowd goes nuts. They kind of knew because they know what these shows. But the way that they did the introduction was like Okada came out. If Danielson doesn't come out after that, it makes sense because sometimes you don't put Danielson after Okada in a New Japan show. And then he did, and everybody went nuts. After that, TMDK came out, and they're just like, cool, whatever. This is gonna be TMDK. Yeah. And they all knew that this match was gonna be bonkers as a result of it. But TMDK was playing the role of like, we want to spoil your night. We want to make sure that you do not go home happy. We are going to win this match, and we are going to make you sad that all your favorites are not going to win tonight. And that is exactly what happened.
And I think the goal of everybody on the All-Star team there was to make Nichols and Haste look like $1 million. Like to me, that's what
it's not hard to be honest. They are
no.
They have been on
but they were sending a message like keep an eye on these guys. Like they in the commentators, this is the best team that's never held the New Japan title. I'm 100% convinced these guys are going to be the world champs. At some point in this year, we're going to be looking at them as the best tag team in the world, in any company. They're so good. I mean, just so good.
So as a result of this match and the backstage comments, 3 matches were made. The first was Tomohiro Ishii, Kazuchika Okada, and Hiroshi Tanahashi are going to defend against Kosei Fujita, Shane Haste, and Mikey Nichols for the never openweight 6-man titles. I'm a little skeptical that Kosei Fujita, as the substitute for Zack Sabre Jr., is going to get the job done when that trio couldn't get it done in December. But the stranger things have happened. In addition to that, in the backstage comments, Jon Moxley took a challenge for Shingo Takagi for this weekend in Battle in the Valley. And then finally, Bryan Danielson accepted a challenge for Zack Sabre Jr. for February in Japan. Of all places. Seems like it could have been done in a bigger place. And perhaps there will be a rubber match done in a bigger place. But this is a very curious match to be done there. And frankly speaking, I'm not complaining. But it was one of the bigger news and notes to come out of this weekend. I would say even bigger than Nemeth and Riddle.
Yeah, probably. You know what hit me when they announced that 6-man match, and like I have not seen anybody mention this. In all the Discord and everyone talking about Wrestle Kingdom and the Dash show and all these shows coming up. That Tanahashi is a champ. Like nobody's mentioned this. He's got 2 belts.
Yeah, no, it was one of those. It was either going to be. There was a point where I thought Zack Sabre Jr. might, and President Tanahashi, it's good to be king.
Yeah, it's got to, and I think it looks like they're going to hold it. And the funny
which one do you think he would first?
God, I would say I want him to lose the TV title first, because every one of these 6-man matches that they have is the best 6-man match that I've ever seen in New Japan. Or no, shouldn't say that, because those matches in the 90s and but the best
they have been a special highlight of the last
the
year.
best open weight 6-man matches ever. I mean, you got to remember these belts started with the Briscoes in a random team with I can't remember who it was, Tonga or something. And they were just an afterthought, and they're having like just killer matches every single title defense. So I want that to keep going for the whole year. And I don't know about Tanahashi doing singles matches for a super long time.
Right.
He's got to have the right opponent. Riddle probably is the right opponent. Zack Sabre Jr. definitely was the right opponent. I think Matt Riddle should win.
I could see Riddle winning that title off of him. That would be a highlight way to just say, hey, Matt Riddle is here.
Well, not only that, because the gimmick is those matches go up free on YouTube, right? So yes. Putting Matt Riddle matches on YouTube as one of the most well-known names in New Japan to a North American audience is probably going to help increase their awareness in the United States. So
and it'll highlight other people that he's wrestling against as well.
Exactly.
The Fujita thing in this angle was interesting. We got asshole Okada again. In the backstage comments, they translated his comments when he was yelling at Fujita, and he called him a little son of a bitch. And who do you think you are challenging me? What have you ever done? So there was a little bit of my favorite Okada last year, peeking his head back around this year, and I am all here for it.
Yeah,
all
they're
right.
Gonna wreck that kid.
They're going to humble him hard.
I'm looking forward
let's
to it.
get to slide number 22 here. We're going to run through all the matches that were announced in Japan before we do the preview of Battle in the Valley. So,
all right.
Battle in the Valley is this weekend. We have at the Dolphin Arena, New Beginning in Nagoya on January 20th, and February 11th is New Beginning in Osaka. February 23rd and 24th is the New Beginning in Sapporo. The anniversary show where presumably Naito and Desperado, if both are still champions, that would happen at the anniversary show. And then the conclusion in the New Japan Cup is on March 20th as it starts on March 7th, now that we got back from that. The full card in Nagoya kicks off in the 20th, and now we go back to that. And it is Tama Tonga and Evil. So this got weird. This got very weird very quickly. Yesterday, I think, might have been the day before, something happened on the New Japan website And let's blow this up a little bit. There was a translation from Evil that said Tama's profile has been deleted. It's a company decision. He's gone. I'm champ. Ha. 3:41 a.m. Tama Tonga at exactly 7 a.m. manages to text ? What WTF is going on? Nobody tweets at exactly 7 a.m., Paul. Nobody tweets anything at exactly 7 a.m. And that was when I was like, something's weird here. Let's just see what plays out. Well, turns out it's an angle.
Oh, okay.
Between the hours of 8:30 p.m. on January 10th, 2024 and 12 noon on January 11th, Tama Tonga's profiles are erroneously removed from the profile page. And Evil, there is a YouTube clip of Evil threatening Chris Charlton here. It has come to learn that these alterations were made by staff members under extreme duress, and we apologize to fans and Tama Tonga for the confusion.
Good Lord.
It's all a fucking angle.
Oh my God. Under extreme duress at the command of Evil.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It just took a little bit of time for people to just
Yeah.
like slow your roll and find out exactly where we're going with this.
Yeah.
The more this goes on,
I was pissed for like an hour. I was like, what
that's
are they
what
doing?
They want you to just fucking care. Like they want you to like care about the angle.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, now that I know it's an angle, it's fine. But it's like you're just gonna give Evil the title? What the hell?
it was like Evil's not the champion. He took the title.
Yeah.
He just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Wasn't Evil champion? No, he just took the title and cut off. Gave Tama a haircut, and then says he should.
I love the last line.
Probably.
I love the last line. We apologize to fans, in particular to Tama Tonga, for the confusion and distress caused.
I mean,
poor Tama Tonga.
We got to worry about Tama Tonga, my friend. We got to worry about Tama Tonga. So the match should be fine. Like you're gonna get House of Torture bullshit. There's a 50-50 shot. Either one of them walks away with the title. I don't particularly care who wins, and I don't mean that to be dismissive. Other than just like it's the never title. You now have the global title. You now have the TV title. You got so many fucking titles.
There was a time though when this title like was a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
In 2024.
It was the fighter title.
Time. Yeah, this was like when Shingo had it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically they're like it's almost like their BMF title. And Walker Stewart and Chris Charlton are kind of trying to call it that now, but it's not really.
My issue is that it used as a prop for bigger feuds. Like, I didn't like it last year when Carl Anderson was in WWE and holding the belt, and it was legitimately like negotiations. It took away from like fighting for the title. It became like the title is a conversation for bigger pro wrestling things, and somehow this title gets involved. I don't care. I just want the title to be fought over in New Japan with good matches and good stories. They're trying something here. They don't have a whole lot of time to set up these matches since there's nothing between New Beginning or New Year Dash. Neither one of these guys are coming to San Jose to build this feud. So, they got creative. It's whatever. But I think better days ahead for both guys. And
is Tonga, is he really leaving, or is that just an angle too?
Typically everybody has their contract up at the end of January.
No, I know that, but
from talking to Dave, it seems like a real thing.
Okay.
Like
so I mean, if he is leaving, I mean, I guess if Evil wins, then that's probably a good sign that he's leaving.
Yeah, he also. He started making comments in the backstage. Well, if he's going to do this to me, maybe I'll stick around. So, like, already you've got, like, the seeds turning of what exactly the thing. And if the guy doesn't have to come over to Japan every, like, tour and he can do the big shows and he can spend more time with his family, he'll take that deal.
Yeah.
He's got a better position here than he's going to have in
right now. Right? No, right? He's not booked for anything right now. So, but again, to sell the angle, they would not book him anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, they probably have their New Japan Cup like slots listed, and they have a placeholder for him, and they'll probably get somebody else if they can't get him. With the MLW arrangement that they just had, there are other people that they can put in there. But ideally for New Japan, I would think that they'd want Tama Tonga in that
Yeah, and to be honest, like you know, and you know me, I like WWE, I like AEW. For me, I think that's the best place for him. I don't see a future for him in either AEW or WWE. He's got to be established there, and here in New Japan, he's already got a name. He doesn't have to be built up. I mean, and he's 41, so you know, like to start a career at 41 is difficult. And he's not going to come in like AJ Styles or Finn Balor, you know, with a big reputation. He's almost starting from scratch. So,
yeah, he's got cachet. You can go longer in these careers. It's just you have to completely reintroduce him to WWE. Yes. I think you could get away with it less than AEW, but I don't think that he has any clear ceiling to success in AEW.
No, like he's not going to be any higher than Juice Robinson.
Right.
And Juice Robinson's done fine, but he's not like a main eventer or anything close. And plus Juice is probably 7 years younger than him. So yeah. So I hope he stays where he is, but I wish him the best no matter what, because he's a good dude. He's got talent. So
yeah, absolutely. Great, good family, good talent, the whole family.
Oh yeah.
All right. We got the let's see here. We got the King of Pro Wrestling, and we have stipulations. Paul, you ready?
Oh yeah. These? So they still have to vote on them, right?
Yeah, the voting will start on Friday, probably tonight for us. But the rule recap: Great Okan is suggesting a bull rope death match, no DQ, all four corners, touch in succession. Taiji Ishimori wants to do a ring fit match, the last title holder after 10-minute wins, 30-second exercise intervals every 3 minutes.
So the bull rope match is going to win.
It might not.
Really?
Yeah. People get weird when they see a curious King of Pro Wrestling match. I think people are just kind of know that this is just a time passer, with the other match being kind of the main event of that card. You're going to get something pretty similar to what we saw here on the show. You know what I mean? Like the show on
interval. So does that 30-second interval count in the 10 minutes?
So there would be 3 of them. So
so
you would have 30 seconds at the end of like 9 minutes and 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to try and win the match.
So stupid. But whatever. It's the King of Pro Wrestling title.
I'm kind of with you on this one. Whatever. And then we
got the bull rope match.
The beginning of just 5 guys matches here. The perennial just 5 guys. This is the beginning of their continuation of their current feud. I don't have much to say other than this is going to go forever, and there will be all singles matches on the 24th of February between just 5 guys, and that should be the final blow-off of this thing.
Cool.
All right, then we got, let's see. Got an 8-man setting up for the 6-man coming up after that. We got the tag match defense of ELP and Hikuleo versus Kenta and Chase Owens. I fully expect this to be a revisiting of Bullet Club feuds and things that happened there, but it's still just kind of part of the card. Not fourth match from the top. Yeah.
Yep. This is on the 20th, right?
This is the 20th, yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, that is February 11th.
Okay. Oh, so you're highlighting.
I'm just running down the 20th because we got this, but their actual title match is the 11th.
Gotcha.
And then after that, we have Desperado versus House of Torture. We're gonna have a United Empire team up of Newman, Akira, TJP, Hanare, and Cobb versus the proper War Dogs, all 5 of them. And then we got Honma and Shota Umino versus House of Torture. And I got to show you this picture. This picture is fantastic.
Nice.
Found on the New Japan 1972 website. Thank you for that fantastic glory.
Tell me that he's not morphing into Yujiro in that picture. Come on, man.
Oh, he's turning into the evil sidekick that's gonna take over the main guy. 1000%. Let's see. Korakuen on the road to new beginning, January 23rd and 24th. more House of Torture shenanigans. We got El Desperado and Kanemaru, which is going to be a fantastic match. I'm just here for everything Kanemaru or Desperado. I also like Kanemaru. Then we got Wato and Joe. So Wato is going to be heating up. He seems like he's going to be one of the challengers for the junior heavyweight title that Desperado has. So I kind of see him getting warmed up for that. And then on the next night, we got this match. And this match is a big deal. This is the actual Shota and Ren match. And that, I believe, is going to be headlining. Yes.
That's the headliner? Okay.
That is on the
24th.
That is on the 24th, yes.
Nice. That could be a sleeper.
It's not going to be a sleeper. People are waiting for this one.
No, I mean for people that maybe don't.
People will be talking about it after that. You're going to want to come back. And
like I'm saying, like people that don't watch all the big shows, maybe you're going to want to go back and watch that one. It's kind of what I'm.
I was arguing that this match should not have 10 minutes at the bottom of the Wrestle Kingdom card. That it needed to main event one of these shows, and I'm really glad that it did.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah. So we got this tag match with Naito and Hiromu, continuing with the Just 5 Guys thing. Then we go over to February 11th. We got the Steel Cage and Daniel Saber. So we got this match. It's going to be Will Ospreay. And I have to give credit to the Keeping It Strong style guys because they upgraded this image for what it should be. You ready for it?
Oh, nice.
They threw the cage on there, and does that give you memories? Does that give you feelings, Paul?
Oh yeah. War games.
So, credit to Keeping It Strong style with Jeremy Donovan and Josh Smith on that one. And then we got this one, the Zack Sabre Jr. This is not the main event of the show. The Steel Cage is going to be the main event of the show. But this new beginning in Osaka is going to be a big show. It is going to be a tremendously big show. And these are, I believe, the only... we got a couple more matches in there, actually. But they have not announced the full card for this one. So we got the 2 more big matches for this one. You ready for them?
I just want to say, for people that are non-WWE wrestling fans, this February 11th card is probably the biggest card between Wrestle Kingdom and Revolution, I would say.
Royal Rumble, yeah.
I say for non-WWE fans.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say if you were thinking about like big shows, it's Royal Rumble, it's the New Beginning shows, and then it's Elimination Chamber, and then Revolution. Those are the ones that I'm looking at.
Yeah, so if you're not going to watch WWE, and I know a lot of people for whatever reason don't, this February 11th show, because there's no AEW between December 30th and March 3rd.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so February 11th, like for me, I mean February 24th is pretty big too, but I like this. This is
the one that they're really like, okay. Like,
and I wouldn't be surprised if we get, even maybe one more big match added before we get to it, but because there's still some things that got to be determined in those cards between February 13th and February 4th. So like maybe we get a John Moxley on this card. We'll see.
Right. Thinking we're doing the Battle in the Valley preview at the very end, my man.
Yep.
All right. Yep. So the next one on this one is the tag match proper, the tag match for these two. So I think the story is probably going to be a little bit of ELP. Is he healthy enough to go in this match? But I don't really see them losing this one to the lower levels of Bullet Club. I kind of think that Kenta and Chase might be moving on to another stable at some point because there are a few members of Bullet Club that don't seem to fit right now, and this is just giving them something to do until we get there.
This feels like it's a setup for a bigger Bullet Club match down the road.
Yes. Yeah. And the fate of Bullet Club, quote unquote. And then one of those magic matches that we were talking about, Paul, we got this Never 6-man openweight title.
Oh my God.
Kosei Fujita, Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols. We got Okada, Tanahashi, Ishii. It's their 7th or 8th title defense, I believe.
Yeah,
it's going to be fantastic. I do really expect to see a little bit of Okada showing Fujita the way, the way of the Rainmaker. But I don't see TMDK personally winning anything but the tag titles before they get gold.
I agree with that, and I mean it's not time for this awesome team to lose the
Right.
6-man titles yet. This will steal the show. I mean Zach and Bryan Danielson will be freaking awesome, and especially without, I can't remember, was the match that they had at Wrestle Dream, was that wasn't a TV title match, right?
No.
Okay, so they didn't have the 15-minute time constraint. So, I mean, a lot of people thought that was like the best technical match ever, and I would imagine this one will be even better. So, you know, between that and the 6-man match, I mean, and then that cage match, like, oh my god, like
it's like the show was made for you.
This card, not me, everybody,
yeah.
everybody. February 11th.
You're loving this though, and I love to see it.
And what's that? A Sunday? So it's a late Saturday night. No, it's a Monday, so late Sunday night, I think, because my birthday's on the 2nd, which is a Saturday, I think. No, man, I don't know.
It's too far away for me to do the math. And
it's a Sunday, so it's a late Saturday night. So there you go.
Be fun.
So everyone can
watch. We'll do a live show after.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love this one. Yeah, no, Venkin's right. The Battle in Valley is pretty stacked too, but I don't get to see it for free on New Japan World, so I still haven't decided whether I'm not going to order it. But Jeremy's going to try to convince me.
I think it could be a great show. We'll get to that.
That's amazing.
To that in a minute.
Yeah.
IWGP World and Global title set for Sapporo. The 3 championship matches. Yeah, we got that details there. Nick Nemeth and David Finlay. All right, Paul. Yeah. How excited are you for this match?
Oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, like
absolutely.
at least like a 1.5.
Okay.
Maybe a 2.
Nick Nemeth has a lot to prove. You know, like him coming into this, like the reaction that you have is exactly the reaction of a lot of people. It's like, okay, you've been a WWE career guy probably a lot longer than you probably should have been. You're coming to New Japan. What do you have to offer? And what exactly are you going to offer at this stage of your career? I think he can go. I think he can probably impress and surprise some people. But if this is only going to be a cup of coffee, like he's only here for a couple of matches and then he's off to, you know, get a contract somewhere else after a couple of good showings, I'm personally not that interested. Like, I want him in the ecosystem of New Japan if he's going to be in the New Japan. And I don't know if he is. That's really where I'm at this.
Okay, well, my issue with this match isn't Nick Nemeth. I'm not a big fan of David Finlay. So Dunstan said in the chat that both men have a lot to prove, and I agree, because to this title feels like it's being positioned as the second biggest title in New Japan, and they're putting it on David Finlay. So to me, that's a level up that I'm not sure he's ready for. And we're going to find out if he is here.
Sure.
So, and again, I said the same thing about Jay White, and I mean, they gave him the IWGP title, and I hated it. And I've turned around on Jay White,
sure.
But it took a while. And David Finlay and Jay White I watched them come up together. I watched them at ringside, for like the early round matches. I watched them in the Young Lions matches 10 years ago. And now I'm watching them turn into main eventers. And, at some point you gotta step up.
You got to do it.
Yeah. And this is it for him. So I actually being in there with a guy like Nick Nemeth with the experience level that he has, is probably going to do a lot of good for David Finlay. And I don't expect Nick Nemeth to win. I mean, I think they're insane if Nick Nemeth wins, but I mean, it's possible. But David Finlay, I mean, this is his year, right? Like, if he's doing the Jay White thing,
it looks like he's the guy that they're positioning to be the big bad.
I mean, at some point he's going to get that IWGP title, and I'm going to hate it. Now, I hope that maybe I won't. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like at some point he's going to get that belt, and I'm going to think he's not ready. But this, I mean, now that he's got this belt, at least maybe I can get used to it. But I mean, he's a good wrestler too. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's the charisma for me that's lacking a little bit.
It may end up being that we are going to be forced, and not just with these two wrestlers, but for a lot of wrestlers, we're going to have to recondition and relearn how we look at them because of the way that the landscape has changed and the way that these wrestlers are utilized by these promotions. It's just it's going to be on us. And as much as like the promotions will do their best, like either we adapt to it or we just fall away. And I hope that for both of us we adapt to it.
Well, the fact that it's a different title, is probably helps him. Like if they would have tried to give him, the Sonata push, that would not have been good.
Could have gone bad.
Yeah.
So
So this is probably a good spot.
Trying to avoid doing the blueprint of giving him like the main title push like they did Jay White after Hiroshi Tanahashi in like 2018. But there's definitely a start the clock factor with David Finlay as to just how long before he's the guy defending the IWGP title, Wrestle Kingdom.
But Goto is he's patient, so he's gonna let it play out, and he's not gonna give up if the first match doesn't go exactly 100% how it's supposed to.
Yeah, he got burned at the last year's New Japan Cup, and then he made it to the extra rounds in the G1. He's won a global title. He's going to do better this year. So you can read between the lines on just exactly the trajectory he's going to have after that year.
No, and you better than anyone, you read the tea leaves pretty well for what they're doing in New Japan. So I have to give you credit there.
Thank you. All right, we got the other one. We got Tanahashi and Riddle. Yep. I think this is a title change.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just between you and me. Like, it just feels like this is a way to get it off of Zack Sabre Jr. That Zack Sabre Jr. and Riddle can have a title match. Riddle can beat him, and then all well that ends well, and then all the world kind of.
Do we know if he's signed full time?
I don't, but if
he wins, obviously he is.
I feel like if New Japan went after Matt Riddle immediately after, and they wanted him for a while the first time around, that they and like he's allowed to wrestle elsewhere, right? He's an MO.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I feel like it could be open-ended, but I don't know anything.
Okay. I just hadn't heard anything, so I wasn't sure. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, if he wins, then you got to figure they've got him at least like a 6-month deal.
I mean, the idea that like if you're gonna push Matt Riddle in any way, shape, or form, you're gonna want to push him. Like you're gonna want a year.
Yeah. You need to use him here.
You need to blow it off with something like Cobb and Riddle at Wrestle Kingdom or something like that. Or with them winning the title to get something. But like if you don't have Riddle for like these big shows and you're not going to get some AEW guys to headline next year, like who are going to be your big like highlight talents next year? That's a real question.
It's a risk though, because there is a lot of people, and I know some New Japan fans that are not happy that they're bringing him in. So
Western New Japan fans in Japan they don't care, which is the main conceit. And so like New Japan,
they may not know.
I think they do, but they're like there are people within that company that are totally aware of what Matt Riddle is going
accused of. Yeah.
But they still made the decision to do it because they really like Matt Riddle. And so,
and that's the only way you're going to get a guy of that talent is because he's damaged goods.
Yeah. It is up to him to perform well in the ring and behave outside of the ring in such a way that people can understand what decisions they make on him. They can have a clear understanding of the factors in it.
Heavy emphasis on the latter part of that. The in-ring to me is less important than the out of the ring. And
if there is a behavioral issue with him, I don't know what would have to happen for New Japan to cut ties. It would have to be major embarrassment on a New Japan tour.
Yeah, like no showing or showing up in no condition or something like that.
And
Or more accusations.
I don't know if the accusations would.
No, like I'm talking new ones.
No, I'm saying like if the old ones didn't.
Okay.
If the old ones weren't a concern, I'm not necessarily sure new ones would be a concern to the New Japan Corporation.
Or something like Michael Elgin, like a situation like that.
It could, but Michael Elgin primarily saw his retreat from New Japan from stealing.
Right. And that's not going to happen with Riddle.
You don't know what's going to happen with the Riddle. He could just have completely bizarre behavior.
I've had some interactions with Riddle, and I would put nothing past him.
With that said, all I want is to see him be at his best, perform for his best, and for the fans to be happy that he's there. Anything beyond that, I have zero expectation.
I watched Vince McMahon's WWE for 35 years, so I've checked my morals at the door.
Yeah.
No,
and you have to compartmentalize many things as a wrestling fan, what you are okay and what you are not okay with. And
absolutely.
That is a conversation that we unfortunately do not have time for because you do not have time for it. So we're going to move on. We have a singles match between all of the Just 5 guys lined up, lined down. We got Naito versus Sonata. We got Shingo versus Taichi. We got Yoda versus Yuya. We got Hiromu versus Doki, and we got Bushi versus Takamishinoku. That is going to be ending out the 24th of shows. So that should be a pretty hot show. And I think there's a Frontier Zone match somewhere in there as well, but we're going to hit that up later. As for us, Paul, we got to hit Battle in the Valley.
Yeah. This is a big one.
This is a real big one. Matt Vandegrift and Goldie. I don't know if I'm going to be watching this one live, Paul, but I will be in the building for Battle in the Valley alongside Garrett, Gonzalez, Dave Meltzer, and a couple of the other folks in town. This is the LA Dojo guys. I believe Matt Vandegrift is on a 2-match win streak on these shows, and he is looking to continue his streak. And we got Viva Van versus Stephanie Vacour. Viva Van has been making a name for herself in some of the shows that we've been seeing around here. And Stephanie Vacour is lining herself up to be a future challenger to Julia's title. She may potentially be the one to take that title from Julia. Julia's not going to be around much longer, man. Have you seen much of Stephanie Vacour?
I've seen a couple matches. She was in the initial tournament to crown the first champ, right? Mm-hmm. She lost to Mercedes in the first match, right?
She did.
Yeah, and then she had another. I think I saw her have a 6-person match on the Independence Day show. Was she in that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and she is originally from CMLL.
Yeah. So she's. I mean, gosh, for CMLL, I mean, as per quality of CMLL woman, she's like freaking Kenny Omega. Because the quality of women's wrestling in CMLL, in my opinion, is not great, and so she's out of there and she's doing some real good stuff. So I'm I agree. I kind of was going to ask you if you thought she was going to be the one to take the title from Julia. So this probably is going to set that up, I would think.
Yeah, I am. This is going to be one of those matches that people are going to be talking about after, like, man, that's Stephanie Vacour. She's really good. So, and
hopefully, yeah.
I'm pretty confident based off of what I've seen before that she's kind of the real deal. She's one of those that you talk about the AEW women, you talk about like the WWE women. New Japan has a women's division in the Western world, but they don't really have one in Japan.
Right.
So you're only getting limited leaps of this small town, which is basically like an international pool of specialists from all these different promotions. This is basically Stephanie Vacour's tryout into WWE and AEW for all intents and purposes. Like the opportunities that she's getting here is where she is going to be seen elsewhere. The CMLL is not going to get her where she needs to be. And I think Viva Van has the same opportunities as her.
I also saw the Lone Star Shootout match she had with Maya Iwatani. That was great.
Yes. So I can't think of a match where I was like, yeah, I don't know about her. If that makes any sense.
Well, I will say the first one, like the match he had with Mercedes, I'd heard great things about it, and I was like, I wasn't like, I don't know about her, but it was more like, I don't know if she's as good as what people are saying. But the couple times I've seen her since, I'm kind of seeing it now.
She just got overhyped to you from the get-go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
But I mean, it was also maybe like just lowered expectations. You know what I mean? Like,
there's
so
always
the people
this
that
thing.
Yeah.
There's always
well, the thing is, it came from CMLL. I can see where, Dave Meltzer, for instance, would think, oh, she's not going to be very good. And then he sees her and he's like, oh, wow. So that's probably whereas, and then I heard his opinion, and then I'm going in expecting to see, like another Mercedes. And it's like, oh, okay, this is like an NXT level woman, but she's getting better every time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So this is good showcase for her. And it's on free, like this on the free portion of the show too, I think, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right. First match of the night. We got Jacob Fatu in his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut as part of the MLW arrangement, alongside Fred Rosser and Shota Umino versus the West Coast Wrecking Crew and Filthy Tom Lawler.
Yeah. You know what's cool about this match? You know what's cool about this match? The three opponents for Team Filthy are the three guys that I believe Filthy Tom has had his three best career matches against.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I just my opinion, but I remember
I didn't even make that connection, but you're probably right. I mean, his matches with Fatu and MLW were really great.
Yeah, the title change, and then the shooter match that he had on, I think, in Japan was incredible. And then obviously the Rosser series of matches were great, and especially the one where Rosser won the belt. So I think that's this was put together well. And Filthy has got something to prove right now. So
I think all of those guys on that side have something to prove.
True. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Next one we got is Masquerada Dorada, Volador Jr. versus Rocky Romero and Soberano Jr. This is playing off some of the feuds that have been going on in CMLL. Unfortunately, I am not the expert in this. That would be Stephen Conway, but the Rocky Romero and Volador feud have been going on for a while. Soberano Jr. had his matchup with Mystico Jr. in the World Tag League. Was that right?
Gosh, no. Damn it. I want to say Averno, but I don't think that's right. Hang on.
I had a brain fart and I've forgotten, but that guy is currently a little bit injured. So they brought in Dorada and Volador Jr. to do the thing.
I've got it up here. Atlantis Jr. Yeah.
Atlantis Jr. was the one.
But this is a better match. Dorada. This is a showcase for Dorada. It's the new Mascara Dorada, obviously. It's not the former.
Right.
Isn't that Santos or
Doc Santos? I can never remember these guys.
Yeah, but it's the new one, and this is his first basic. I think it might be his first match in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. This will be a good one, and I mean, Volador is great. It's Grand Metalik was the original.
There it is.
Yeah. But Volador and Soberano and Rocky are can't miss, and I assume Mascara Dorada is as well, because he's kind of the new up and coming big time star in Mexico. He's going to take over from Mystico probably at some point. So this will be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now we got one of those matches set up in the backstage comments when TJP decided he was going to be the guy to show David Finlay what at Battle in the Valley.
Non-title this one?
What's that?
Non-title
singles match. This is basically beginning the setup for their steel cage match. I fully expect Finlay to run him into the ground, given he's the head of a faction and TJP is the junior heavyweight champion. But it should be fun. I think there's going to be a very vicious Into Oblivion, that new version of the Into Oblivion, and TJP will make it look great. But this is kind of bottom of the card singles match. Not what people are really here for, but nice little spotlight match for David Finlay is kind of what it gets designed to be. And then we got Hikuleo and El Fantasma versus Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin. This is an interesting one because it is not Coughlin and Kidd challenging ELP and Hikuleo.
Yeah, it's a junior team.
It is a strong open weight match, but it is one of the juniors and it is one of the heavyweight tag team members.
And this is for the tag team titles, right?
It's a strong open weight tag team title. So my suspicion is that the way that they have it set up is that strong tag team defenses will happen in the States, and IWGP tag defenses will happen in Japan. And so at any time they can lose one or the other until they have put them both on the line in some kind of big match. But that's generally the idea of what I think that they're trying to do, so that they have a little bit of synchronicity between the two titles.
I'm a big Clark Connors fan, so I'm really hoping that they win.
Baby Hangman?
I'm not. Yeah. If I'm probably in the minority on this opinion, but I think if Hangman had Clark Connors' natural charisma, he'd be a way bigger star right now. I just think Clark Connors has something that can't be taught. Yeah. But I don't expect a title change, but I'd be really happy to see one.
Yeah, I don't see a title change either, but it would be a lot of fun. It would throw a lot of chaos in there. And
well, the weird thing is I look at those teams and I don't look at Connors and Coughlin as being any like smaller than Kidd and the other guy.
And Maloney and Connors and Kidd
Maloney and Connors, yeah. Well, wait a minute. Maloney and Connors. Oh yeah, right. So these guys aren't even the regular tag team partners.
Right,
that's right.
Right. They are.
This
Bullet Club.
Yeah, gotcha. This ain't gonna be a title change. What am I thinking?
Right.
Yeah.
They are. This is just and
I had the brain fart.
It's not even the focus of Bullet Club right now. This is a match to have, even though they're United Empire stuff. Gotcha. It'll be fun.
Yeah. It's probably setting up Connors and Kidd to challenge, or I mean, Coughlin and Kidd to challenge for the belts.
Then Kidd thinks Finley's going to win, and Kidd has bigger fish to fry on this card. Looking at the upcoming shows, doing less US shows. We got one more show, Windy City, in April. They're going Wintrust. 7,000 people in that one, Dunstan.
Velkin's a big Gabe Kidd fan, isn't he?
He is. A lot of Gabe Kidd fans on this show. A lot of our audience is a Gabe Kidd fan. We got Julia versus Trish Adora. Everyone just wants to see a Julia match. Trish Adora is the lucky person to have the spot against her in this. There's a very real chance that Julia drops the title at any point, given the rumors of what's happening with her moving forward. She has disbanded her faction, Donna Del Mundo of Stardom. It has begun. So could be now. It could be somebody else challenging her down the line.
I don't think Trish Adora is the one to take this.
I don't think so either, but stranger things have happened, and I'm not gonna rule absolute on this one.
She's not signed to AEW, right? Like I know she's in Ring of Honor a lot, but I don't think she's under contract.
No, I don't believe so either.
Okay.
She's done some Ring of Honor stuff, but
yeah.
All right. We're getting there. Matt Riddle and X versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Tito. As we spoke about earlier, we both kind of think that this is going to be Jeff Cobb. Is there anybody else that you think it could be?
Well, the silhouette does not look like Jeff Cobb. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be Tanahashi. He's not on the card, but I would think that if he was going to be on the card, they would have announced him. But you never know. I guess, it could be, somebody from AEW, but I couldn't see that. It's got to be Jeff Cobb, right? Like Jeff Cobb. Yeah. If Filthy wasn't on the card already, I would think there was a chance it could be him. I think it would be a good team, but all
the people that Riddle was with in the tags was like Catch Point. They're all in WWE. I mean, it could be Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, but
it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm trying to think. Is there anybody that's got a beef with, what would be really cool is if it was Danielson, but I don't think it's going to be Danielson. But
I think it's probably going to be a traditional New Japan guy.
Cobb makes a lot of sense. And Chosen Bros.
All right, Gabe Kidd and Eddie Kingston for the Continental Crown Championship.
Is it, or is it just for the strong title? Or
Continental Crown.
are we gonna open that can of worms?
It is listed as the Continental Crown.
Okay,
so
there you go.
The whole whammy, the whole deal is on the line. Like Gabe Kidd can walk away with the 3 belts and walk into AEW and Ring of Honor and
see, and in my mind, the Continental Crown Championship is the AW belt. The strong title is the strong title. The ROH title is the ROH title, and then the 3 together are the American Triple Crown.
Yeah,
but now they seem to be backing off on that American Triple Crown thing. Yeah. So who knows? I mean,
in my mind, ideally, if you have one of the 3 belts, that is your ticket into the tournament. And then it is your job to win all 3 at the end.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be a great way to do it. But I don't think they have the discipline.
The fact that this is for 3 belts makes it so much more less likely that Gabe Kidd is going to win. If it was just for the strong title, I would think maybe he will. But because it's for all 3, there's no way he's going to win. Like, is the way I look at it. So
he may not win, but I will tell you, we are winners for getting to watch this match. I think this match is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah. All right, another fantastic match on this card: Shingo Takagi versus Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley in the backstage comments in New Japan New Year Dash walked back there like, I lost the last 2 nights, but I didn't get pinned. I don't feel like I lost. I feel like a goddamn king. I feel like a mayor. I'm going to San Jose. I'll be the goddamn mayor of San Jose. Shingo Takagi rolls up and like, I want to wrestle you. Let's go no DQ in San Jose. It's like, let's go. And there was the match made. And it was a perfect build-up. Now we're going to get these 2 guys in a no disqualification match, second from the top on the card. And I bought my ticket for this show back in November or October. I had no idea what was going to be on this card, Paul. I feel like a very, very lucky man.
I've seen Jon Moxley wrestle live. I don't know how many times, like in the last 4 years, and every single time I've seen him, he's entered in my section and walked right beside me.
We've had this moment too.
Well, no, but even in Winnipeg,
like, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so I'm, I think he's got a special connection with Fight Game Media. Him and Garrett are buds, and so I think you're going to get something special here. I saw Shingo have a 5-star match with Trent in Dallas. This is as close to a guarantee of a great match as you possibly
beautiful violence is going to happen.
Yeah, and the fact that it's no DQ just makes it all the better or worse depending on your perspective. But I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, Jon Moxley unhinged, and Shingo can do anything. This is going to be incredible. I mean, I expect Moxley to win, but it doesn't really matter because it's for pride. And honestly, if Moxley loses, it might even be better in a way because
I would not be shocked if Shingo Takagi was the first guy to pin Jon Moxley in 5 years in New Japan.
Because then he is going to be unhinged in AEW. If he's coming off 3 straight losses, don't get in this guy's way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We are getting into a fun time in AEW as well. And Blackpool Combat Club coming back in after a huge shift and everything that's happened since World's End is going to be a powder keg.
Well, yeah, Danielson's coming off 2 losses as well. So, they should have something to prove in AEW. So
they will.
Yeah.
Last match before we get you out of here, my man.
Oh my God. Good Lord.
Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay in a special singles match. One of the last singles matches of Will Ospreay's career. Let's go out with a bang.
Oh my God. You know what? He's doing this match on Saturday, and then he's going to Vegas, and he's going to have a match with Josh Alexander on Sunday. And I was originally scheduled to be in Vegas this weekend, and I was going to see that match. And then we changed, and now I'm actually going to Nevada 2 days later. So I'm going to be in Nevada on the 16th. I've never seen Will Ospreay wrestle live. You get to see it live. No. And you get to see it live. I'm so jealous, but I so wish I could have kept my original plans and gone to Vegas this weekend and saw him. And I think Okada's on that card too. I can't remember who he's wrestling, but and
there's with the Motorcycle Machine Gun or something like
maybe there's a Vikingo and Kushida and Chris Sabin are having a 3-way. Saturday night is an incredible night of professional wrestling.
Yeah, there's they got another TNA show that night as well, right?
Yeah.
Battle of the Belts and Collision.
And then this show,
is anything on Collision like super nuts that night?
Yeah, I mean, there's some title matches. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, there's some good stuff on there. So, yeah, the street fight, Starks and Big Bill against Jericho, and So yeah, no, this, I mean, man, this will be the match of the month probably. I would think
this is going to be a special match. And,
well, maybe. I mean, does it beat anything at Wrestle Kingdom? It might. It's hard to say.
Just want to watch the match and come to my conclusion, because there's 1,000% that I'm going to come out biased based off of this match and how I feel about it, and I'm going to have to, figure out how I feel about it before I sit down and hear what the world has to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is the off chance that it's Okada's last match, right? Like, I mean, there's rumors out there.
It's possible.
I don't believe that it's going to happen, but
there was a number of things that have happened since that rumor came out, including Tanahashi becoming president and Obari no longer being president, that I believe were directly done to make Okada happy.
Yeah, and, no, I agree. Like, I don't expect it, but it's out there.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned in our Discord, and email GG at Fight Game Media if you want invites into the Fight Game Media Discord, where we talk about all things New Japan as well as AEW, WWE, and whatnot. Okada may be wrestling elsewhere a lot more often this year, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be wrestling a lot in New Japan. And that was a good way to wrap my head around it. And that sounds good.
Yeah, to me, it read like AEW, but I don't know anything.
I mean, Impact, first time in a few years and he could be an MLW. Like, if MLW got him for a show or two, like that would be a very interesting litmus test to see who's effectiveness.
New Japan is working agreements with a lot of different companies.
Absolutely.
And in fact, I mean, there's also rumors out there that WWE wants to work with them. So,
we shall see on that one.
Yeah, they are the true forbidden door, New Japan.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Paul, plug your stuff.
All right. Well, this is the Fontaine week on Fight Game Media. I was back within the clinch this week on the Fight Game Media free feed, so you can check that out on all major podcast platforms. Myself and Ryan Frederick did a recap of 2023 and did our bold predictions for 2024, so you can check that out for MMA fans. And then, of course, as Jeremy mentioned earlier in the show, we had the Dynamite show last night on this very YouTube channel, as well as the Fight Game Media free feed on audio on Thursday morning, this past morning. And then I will be back this weekend with Keila Cash and Scott Young on the wrap, breaking down all things WWE before I take my much-deserved vacation. Although I don't think I'm missing any shows, but I am taking a vacation. So
funny how that worked out, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to Nevada. So I'm gonna just little sojourn into a resort out there. So you guys can all think of me as you're watching your New Japan and everything. So I've been looking forward to being on the show for a long time, Jeremy. So I want to thank you for having me on, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you on for New Japan Cup talk. Get some ideas from you, how you feel about the things are going to go, and
sure.
If not, we'll figure out another time for you to come on here, because I had a blast talking to you, Paul. It was great.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you next week. Stephen Conway shall be back. I shall be here as well. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't. But we will talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling for 90 minutes. I can promise you that. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. Peace